Mr. Cory Martin, roommate, on a podcast. You know, I've been trying to convince you now for like 2.5 weeks to get on now.
Hello. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a real honor. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous, so please forgive me.
All right, I'll help you. So for those of you that don't know, this is Cory. He's my roommate. We've been living together now for 2-3 weeks.
Roughly about 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I'd say.
How am I as a roommate? Let's get right into the deep stuff. This is how you get comfortable. Talk about me. Give them the real shit. Talk some shit about me. What you got? Man, you're sucking down my Mountain Dew as you spit it on my microphone. I can't make this shit up. He literally just spit Mountain Dew on my desk, and he's rubbing it into the grain. You want a paper towel?
Preferably. Here we go.
Oh, good, a shirt.
Hey, it's a versatile tool, my dude. But no, like...
Never forget this. My roommate spit Mountain Dew on my desk. So I'm trying to do a podcast with him.
Well, it's your fault for making me laugh.
So talk about me. What's it like having me as a roommate?
Definitely interesting. I mean, to me, you seem like an awesome guy. When you're very quiet, that's when I get worried, because it's like you're very social and talkative outside of the dorm. But then I guess you're like me in a sense where when you come in here, you tend to like to retreat, kind of do your own thing. Like, no offense, by the way, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. Am I wrong or am I right about that?
I mean, there's a reason for that. You know, when I'm out and I try to be social, I try to keep a fine balance. Yeah. When I was younger, I was told 80% listening, 20% talking. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, when people talk a lot about themselves, they're not that interesting. And I've always grown up with that. Mm. So this is my 20% right here. Mm-hmm. I know it may look like I don't talk a whole lot in here, but when you're not here, I talk a shitload to myself. Just like any other crazy man who has a podcast in a college dorm would do.
I mean, look who you're talking to.
I was watching the UFC today. Give me a break.
So?
So everything. It's the UFC.
Yeah?
Exactly, yeah.
Sorry, I don't keep up on sports the way you do, but...
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
I know. But seriously, me as a roommate, you know, are you gonna murder me in my sleep, or are you gonna keep me?
I'm gonna keep you, because...
I'm gonna keep you, just feel you out. See... I'm just going to see what you're like, see what you're into, and then one day I'll just...
No.
Okay.
No, not at all, because, like, to me, I kind of... When I look for a roommate, or, like, they assign me a roommate, I hope that they kind of have, like, some similarities to me, like, in the fact that, like, they do like to talk, but yet they're all right with being alone. They aren't too messy, because, like, I know I can be a mess, but, like, I try and keep my stuff organized as best I can. So, like, yeah, you've checked off the boxes.
Hell yeah.
Haven't done anything wrong yet.
Me? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're probably ready to get rid of me at any time, like drop of a hat.
I mean, I'd probably be with anyone eventually. Because I'm so judgmental. Let's talk about interior design, because you have... bit of a story with all that. Explain how that happened.
All right.
How you got to interior design.
So, back in high school, 10th through 12th grade year, half of my year was spent doing my academic work. Half of it was going to Franklin County Career Tech to study a trade, a skill. And what I was taking at Franklin County was welding. So I took 3 years of welding. Each year they did a certification test. First year was the stick welding test. Then it was MIG, finishing with TIG your senior year. Each one had their own restrictions and codes. But yeah, I came out of high school having 3 welding certifications, 2 OSHA certifications, and I could have went on. I thought about learning another trade, like going to a trade school to learn how to do work on diesel engines or aeronautics, just because I love working with my hands. I don't like sitting behind a desk too often. But I remember, like, the one time I went to check out trade school with my parents, which wasn't too far from Pittsburgh. On the way back, they're like, Cory, we just don't understand. We don't understand why you want to go to these trade schools, why you think you need to learn these different trades. And I think that's when I realized, like, my parents were talking sense into me. So after that, I started looking at colleges, started looking at used the Bureau of Labor Statistics website to research different jobs. And so my parents thought I should go for architecture and engineering, and because I'm so smart and I can be so creative, and they don't see why I'm not using my full potential. So checked out architecture, checked out a few other things, and on the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, they had like related jobs to each one. So like architecture, I seen interior design up there in that like related job section. So I checked it out, and I was like reading through the education requirements, reading through the description, and I'm like, this seems like something I would want to do. This seems like something fun and interesting. So I started getting into that from there, and I applied to Art Institute of Pittsburgh in, I think, August, and then like most of September, like I didn't hear anything back right away, and then I did finally get like an acceptance letter in like October 2nd, I want to say, of 2017 was when I started there, and I've been doing interior design since, and it's been a blast. Like, when I first got into it, I didn't realize like the extensiveness of it all fully. Like, yeah, I read about it, I like kind of understood, but like getting into like the whole entire detail, like a lot of people think interior designers just pick paints and pillows. Like, yeah, we do some of that, not gonna lie, but we also are working with the architects, working with the electrical engineers, and other members of a build team or design team to design a whole floor plan, a whole layout, both functional but yet aesthetically pleasing. Because, I mean, think about our room. Is it functional? Yes. But at the same time, could they do a little bit better job of aesthetics? Yes.
For people listening, aesthetics, what is that?
Aesthetics is like, it's pleasing to the eye. Like, for example, do you like staring at white walls all the time? Or do you like some color or like posters or something up there that catches the eye that you'd like to see?
Okay.
So like,
Never knew that.
What?
I never knew that's what that word meant.
Well, I think if you want to, you can look up the definition.
I trust you. You're going to school for this. Talk about the Art Institute. What happened there? I remember you told me it went bankrupt and then closed. Give me like the story behind that. As you suck down this guy, I bought him a 12-pack of Mountain Dew last Thursday. I left Friday. I was home. I come back Monday. His entire 12-pack is gone. It is gone. I look for the box. I look for the cans. No traces of Mountain Dew. He sucked down 144 ounces of Mountain Dew in 4 days. I'm jealous even. I don't even drink that much Mountain Dew. And hell, I'm fueled by that shit. But go ahead, Art Institute of Pittsburgh, please.
So, the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. When I got there, I didn't really do too much research about it beforehand. But Art Institute was like owned by EDMC. That was our parent company. And EDMC was private owned company, for profit organization, the works, and basically they got into crap, so our reputation started to go downhill. They ended up finding a new owner underneath Dream Center Educational Holdings, and that was supposed to be like our uplift to get us back on track, to get us, to do better. Yeah, not even a year, man. Not even a year underneath them, and we were still having like problems. The first sign like of things going south, I think, was like when they told us they were taking away student sponsored housing. Like, we didn't even have dorms like a regular college. We lived in an apartment complex, like top of Oakland, in a place called Oak Hill. And basically, like, we lived in those apartments. We didn't have a meal plan. We had to provide food for ourselves. So yeah, we got, like, once they said they were taking away, like, student-sponsored housing, like, we had to figure out where the heck we were going to live, how we were going to get to school. Like, that wasn't easy. But that, like, after that news came through, then we heard about Middle States, which is, like, an accreditor that if you aren't accredited by them, like, there's no way, like, you can get financial aid. So we were put on show cause for that, which is like the last status before they withdraw the accreditation. So, because like they want to give us the benefit of the doubt. And so we got to like winter quarter, kind of beat the show cause thing we were still on show cause status, but because we showed we were making improvements, that we were getting back within Middle State standards, they just wanted to, I think it was more of an accountability thing. That's why they kept us at that status. But then basically that's when we heard about Dream Center getting bankrupt and going into receivership. Now, receivership, as it's been explained to me, is we're underneath a lawyer that is trying to go through all of our stuff and try and cut budgets where they can and drop stuff where they can in order to keep the, school afloat until a new parent company could come by and pick us up again. But yeah, like that was during my last quarter, like having to go through receivership, and I thought the mood around the Art Institute was bad after like they took away our housing, they took away, we got put on show cause. Like, I thought that was bad enough. Yeah, receivership, literally, I felt more drained going to the school than actually, like, anything else. Because the overall mood, the morale was just not there. It was not there.
How many people were enrolled in the Art Institute?
I'm not sure. I know...
Thousands, hundreds.
I mean, we had multiple art institutes across the U.S., but like different ones of them had to get shut down. Some of them, so that kind of stunk. But like no, like I'm not even sure, dude. And so many people, like I've looked up stuff on YouTube and such, and I've seen people just like who went there who basically are like, don't go there. You're just gonna get, you're going to be taken over to the other side. You're going to, pretty much get, lack of a better term, screwed and such. I should have, again, I didn't research well enough before I signed up. But no, like, thank goodness, like, we had a teach-out plan in hand for the students. Like, my only options for me, if I wanted to stay in Pittsburgh, was to go to either Chatham or La Roche. Obviously, you see what I picked here. But, like, yeah, looking at other programs across PA, like, the only places are Philadelphia or Pittsburgh for CETA accredited schools, which is like the overall accreditation for interior design programs. And basically, by being a CETA accredited school, you're allowed to take parts of the NCIDQ, which is this test that kind of tests your knowledge, and that's the test you have to take in order to get licensed after you're done with school. So, like, obviously, you see why I want to go to a CETA accredited school is because I want to be able to take the parts of the NCIDQ after I graduate, so I can get licensed someday. So,
did you think you were going to go to college when you're in high school?
Honestly, this is the dumbest part. Laugh if you want. When I was in high school, I only thought about, like, job security. Like, I knew someday I wanted to grow up and have a family and, like, you know, settle down eventually in my life. And I knew, like, I would need to provide. Like, I've always been raised, like, you work hard, you don't sit around. So to me, in high school, that's why I took welding. Because, like, welding now has spiked, like, because a lot of baby boomers, heck, they're getting to that retirement age. They want their 401k. And so, like, that's why welding spiked. And then, to me, I was, like, going to a trade school and learning another beneficial trade that could be growing would help, again, with job security, and I would be able to provide and, you know, be all right. So, again, my parents, like, thank goodness that they got a hold of me and were like, Cory, I know that you want to have a job and such, but at the same time, like, why would you waste your potential? And that, to me, was, like, something I can never truly not be thankful for. Like, my parents talking sense into me. So, yeah.
So, your family, I think you told me 2 sisters?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, dad, 2 sisters.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. One's older, one's younger, you said?
My 2 sisters, we have an oldest, and then there's the middle child, and I'm the baby of the family.
Baby. Because you were telling me about the height thing.
Yeah. Yeah, if you line us all up, like, oldest and youngest, you'll start with the oldest being the shortest, middle is in between height, and then you have me being the tallest. And I'm serious, it's like a stair step, man.
And you're 6'4", right?
Yeah. Well, if you want to be technical, doctors say 6'3.5", but I'm like, that's stupid. Just call me 6'4".
All right, so you're 6'3.5 question mark. You said you played rugby.
Yeah.
That's a brutal game to play. What made you want to play rugby?
All right, so my friend Blake from marching band, he was also in welding shop with me. He suggested that I try it out. So I went to one of their Sunday practices my junior year of high school, and I freaking fell in love with the game, man. Like, yeah, we didn't do, like, all the hitting then and such, but, like, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Are there specific positions in rugby? I don't know anything about this game.
So, usually in rugby, like, when I played in the spring, it was 15 on 15, I want to say. So, basically, you had what are known as backs, and then you had the pack. The pack were the guys that are bulkier, can't run to save our lives. Like, we're not the fastest guys, but we can take a hit. Obviously, you can tell where I was put. I was a pack body. We're also the ones that do scrums, which if you want, I can explain that later.
Please.
And then the backs.
I don't know anything about this game.
And then the backs are the guys that were, like, our fast guys. They're the ones that can really run hard. But no, like, in the scrum, you have your positions. So I played second line of the scrum. And basically how it works is when a foul's called, or they call for, like, a scrum, both teams line up opposing each other. Excuse me. It's the Mountain Dew. I'm burping. But basically, you have 3 people up front, 4 people in the center, and then 1 person in the back. The person in the center up front is called your hooker.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Damn right it is.
The reason we call them the hooker is because they have to use their foot to kind of hook the ball and get it back on our side, or get it out our side so we can get the ball, or the other team can get the ball. Then you have the post. They're on either side of the hooker. They're the ones kind of supporting him. I know.
These names, man. You guys should have came up with better names.
Oh, and then we
Two
had...
posts and a hooker.
And then
I like this sport.
The line behind them was the second line people, which
pole.
I was in.
The pole, right?
No, not the pole.
Okay.
We were just second line. And then you had your ends, or I think they were either called ends or like, I don't know. But basically they helped like keep the second ends, like the second line people tight. So I was in the second line. I was like I had one guy on my left or right, depending on which side they put me on. And then I had someone kind of trying to keep us in so we weren't like spreading out. And the final guy, the guy at the very back, the one guy there, was called our ape man. Ape man.
Tanya, the names you guys come up with for rugby is... Where'd the sport originate from? Do you know?
I think it was England.
England?
If I'm thinking correctly.
I wrote a paper, and it was about, which was the American sport, baseball or football, and football dated back to rugby. I think you're right. I think it is the UK.
Yeah, but, like, the thing is, you say, like, rugby's a brutal sport.
I mean...
It's a crap ton of fun, though. Like...
Well, if you're a big guy, I'm sure it is.
Like, let's just say...
If you're bulky, I'm sure you love it.
Are you kidding me? Look at you. You're bulky enough to play rugby.
Oh, that's fat, okay? That's what we call body fat. All right? When you run, you don't like having that stuff.
The thing about rugby, though, I learned most of all is, like, in order to take on your opponents, you got to get lower than them. Because it gives you more leverage on them. That's how sometimes we were more powerful in the scrum. Is like, yeah, in a scrum, the goal is to get the ball. It's not to, like, push the team back 5 meters or something. But, like, yeah, the lower you are, the more power you have to drive the other team back. And that's, like, one of the things. And if you think it's weird, the names, you should have heard how I had to tie myself into the scrum. That's a story, my dude.
Please, explain.
So...
Explain yourself.
Basically... The way I had to tie in, because I was the second line, I had my arm next to my other second line guy on it, like his jersey. We kind of like, hip to hip hanging on. And then we had to tie into the person in front of us, the post. Yeah, basically how you tie into the post in my position is you have to reach up between their legs and, like, grab their jersey, like the front of their jersey, and that's how you tie in. Yeah. Yeah, it's not... This is why I think rugby builds good bonds, because you all have to get a little personal at times.
What a sexual sport. Oh, my God. So you have to stick your arm under a dude's crotch, hope you don't hit any of his junk, grab his jersey, and then what? What do you do? Squeeze? What do you do?
Just hold on. Like, you gotta pull down on it almost, because, like, that's how you support yourself. Because literally, once they, like, tell us to go, my feet, my leg that I'm having a support on up in front, that thing drops back, so I get more power with both my knees to push the other team. So, like, I'm only being held up by my teammate, the guy that's, like, on the outside, and then the post in front of me. Like, that's literally all that's keeping my head from, like, eating dirt. Oh, trust me, it was
what a game.
It was worse when it, weather's hot, because then doing a scrum when it's hot, you learn how to not smell things.
Let's say you breathe through your mouth.
Yeah,
but you have your mouth open and your teeth are showing like...
Teammate just looks at me, Cory, you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Somebody should
Don't talk to me. Please, don't talk to me.
Put some deodorant on.
So, are there, like, penalties in rugby like you have in the NFL? Like if you drop your shoulder on your helmet so low you get a flag. Do you have that?
So, yes and no.
Because the hits you can take.
Yeah.
True.
Basically,
No pads.
you can get penalized or fouled on if you stay in the ruck too long. Like basically what the ruck is, it's what happens after a player goes down. Your teammates and the other team wants to get the ball from where you got tackled. So like the people on the ground have to try and clear away from the ruck as fast as possible, which is sometimes hard because sometimes like you're trapped in there. But that's just so you don't get your head hit or like killed, basically. Like you don't want to get trampled on. But like no, like that's one way. If you take and like catch the ball, like you do a knock on is what it's called, which is where like you try and catch it, but you catch it forward or you throw it forward. So like in rugby, the rule is you have to throw it backwards. So if you like catch it forward or you knock it forward, you end up, that's a foul. That's, and then if you go outside the lines, like that's like line up.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever gotten injured playing rugby?
Not really.
No.
I mean,
you played for what? 2 years?
2 years.
2 years.
I think like two of my teammates, not in the same year, but like Blake, the guy that got me into rugby, he actually tore his ACL in the sport.
Nice.
And then the following year, Derek, he tore his ACL. So like it is a brutal sport. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, like it's actually, I think it's safer than football actually, because how we tackle, is like actually kind of safer, because they always tell us to wrap the legs and keep your like face like cheek to cheek almost, kind of like, because you're wrapping their legs and you like kind of have to tuck into them so you don't hurt yourself and you don't hurt them. So yeah, it's like they teach us how to tackle safer, and no one's really ever gotten badly. Really? I haven't gotten injured that bad. Have I had sores after the game? Well, yeah, but like that's just because
it's a contact sport. God,
I know.
So. I mean that I see those highlight reels of like worst rugby hits. People get demolished in this game.
Yeah.
How long does it go? Is there a time limit, or do you have to score a certain amount of points?
There is a time limit. It's not like we keep track of points and such, but like yeah, it's timed. We have like a halftime, which is like sort of, but basically like I think we go for like 15-20 minute quarters. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I still remember senior year, like I was one of the starting pack bodies out there. I still remember we went to what was called the Frostbite tournament. Like this is like March when the weather's still cold, and we were playing rugby. And now rugby, like the shorts we wear for rugby, they're
short, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're really short.
Yeah. And then we only have like jerseys on. So like at the Frostbite tournament, we had to play.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Frostbite tournament.
It was happening in like freaking March, dude. Like near I think mid or end of March.
Frostbite tournament.
But no, at the tournament, we literally like, it was great. I honestly enjoyed it. Each of the teams that were there, like you could tell, were really, really good. But the thing that I liked about it was how well our team did. Because we did have some new guys, we had some returners, but like, we beat this one team. We scrimmaged against them first off, outside of the tournament. Then we had to face them in the tournament. We won against them. The next day, because the one team dropped out of the tournament, we had to face them again. So 3 times we were able to shut them down. We were able to take them. And you want to know the greatest thing about the second day of the tournament? The team we were supposed to face, we had some big guys. We had some guys about my size, maybe a little bit shorter, but like still pretty bulky. Yeah, the team we were set to face the next day ended up facing our freshman players with the team we already beat, like, because the team we were supposed to play was just, they're like short. They were scared of us. And it's just
really?
like, can you imagine what it's like though, having like a team fear your team because of like your size and your power? And like, I just like found that crazy because I'm like, we're really not that bad. But the fact that and then like, of course we lost to like, I think we came in like second or third in the tournament maybe, but like we lost our last game in the tournament, but like the reason we lost was the other team just was more fundamentally sound than us. Like we still had to work on some of the fundamentals, but no, like our pack bodies, we worked as a unit pretty well. We took care of business. Like I still think my calves are one of the most powerful things about me.
So how does how do you like, can you go to college and play rugby, and then is there a way you can go like pro technically
So
in America?
So
Do you know?
I know colleges have teams. Some of them are actually starting to give scholarships for teams, I think. I actually got approached my junior year after our Central Dauphin game by a West Virginia Mountaineer recruiter. They're like, hey, do you ever have interest in going to college? Do you ever like want to play rugby for us? So I got approached by them, and then during the tournament, even like I think one of the Penn State coaches for one of their multiple campuses across this great state, kind of was talking to us and was like, "Hey, if you like, you guys, if you want, you can go here to school for a few years and play there, but then like you can come up to our school and then play for us and such." And I was like, "Yeah, like I considered it." They didn't have what I wanted to do necessarily. So
Not anywhere near based interior design, I'm assuming.
yeah, like
Okay.
if I wanted to go, I would have had to take like engineering courses, which I don't have an issue with that. It's just I don't see myself as an engineer for some reason. I don't know why. But no, like I still wish I could play rugby sometimes because it's just like I miss the sport, man.
Yeah, rugby. I mean, that's a hell of a game.
Oh no, I see Pitt. University of Pitt has a club team I know of. I seen them practice around the Cathedral of Learning once. One of the teammates actually tried to recruit me, thinking I was
Oh, you
Pitt
were a student? Oh, really?
And I'm like, sorry, bud, I go to the Art Institute. I'm not even a student. Oh,
What kind of scholarship were they offering? Like full ride or
I don't
what?
think so.
Half? Quarter?
No,
You don't know?
yeah, I never got that far. Although my one teammate, ironically, his name it was Cory. Also, he was one of our best players, but he actually went, I think, on a full ride over to Britain to learn how to play rugby professionally. There was like a whole article in our local paper, The Public Opinion, about it. So yeah, like we had some really good players. Like heck, it wouldn't surprise me if like Tyler Bach, shout out to him wherever he's at, if he like ever takes rugby and like runs with it, because he was pretty good too. He was one of our better pack bodies. Yeah, he was really good. Yeah.
Talk to me about religion, because you seem very deeply rooted, and people our age, we don't find that a whole lot anymore. Explain that to me.
All right.
Do you have like a moment, something happened? I'm curious.
So,
If you want to share it.
first off, I'm open. Like, if you approach me and want to talk about it, I'm totally cool with it. I'm not gonna be like sitting there though, forcing my view on you, and such. So, just clarifying that first. As for religion, I grew up in the Church of the Brethren, which is like one of love my church, but it was like they had like some strict guidelines and rules, and definitely had like, their set views, and I appreciated it. I think that those like guidelines and them encouraged me to follow them have shaped me into a better person. Um, Ninth grade year, though, I joined what was called the 412 Leadership Program. This program ran from Camp Joel, which was a non-denominational Christian camp. And basically, the goal of the program was to help teenagers become spiritual leaders, like to really embody 1 Timothy 4:12, which says, "Do not look down on do not let people look down on you because you are young, but set an example in faith, in life, in love, and in purity." I might have those messed up, so please forgive me if I misquoted the Bible. Try not to do that too often. But no, like that's like our goal, is to like have people, set an example, the way Christ did. Because if you read through the Bible, you see, Jesus like showing examples, and like, yes, he teaches, but again, he shows examples. So again, we want to show our example of following him. So that kind of helped grew me, but it wasn't. I don't think I really took my faith as serious as I did until this last summer, because this last summer, like, I went to the Art Institute. It shut down, and I was kind of at a point in my life where I'm like, I know where I'm going, but I know I don't want to go anywhere without God in my life. And so I really, throughout the summer, they encouraged us to get our daily devotions in, to memorize scripture, to really be able to invest in these kids, because we're like talking elementary, middle school, and high schoolers we were getting to minister to all summer long, and we don't know what they're going through at home exactly, all the time and such. So like, we really tried to focus on being good examples and leading them to Christ. So yeah, so I really tried to get into scripture memory, to get into Bible studies as best as I could, and memorizing scripture. And so I want to continue, because I want to keep growing and investing in that. So any of that makes sense or not really?
Yeah, all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious because you seem pretty closely rooted, and we don't.
Yeah.
People our age, I mean, that's not something that we see a whole lot of anymore.
And like, don't get me wrong, like, do I still have my views on certain things? Yes, but at the same time, again, like, I want to show love to people, not hate, because that's what I feel we are called to do. So if somebody ever came up to me and was like, what are your views on this? I would explain to them, like, my view, but at the same time, I'm like, don't think I'm not going to care or love you if you don't. Sorry, I'm lost in thought now.
Instead of asking them the questions I don't ask on the podcast, I write on a notepad and I slide it to them so casually.
Thanks for that.
Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no.
Yeah.
We got a yes, okay.
Yeah.
Continue, please. Sorry to
that's all I kind of have on the topic, unless there's like specific things.
What about morning devotions? When'd you start doing that? I used to do that before I go to bed in high school. When did you start picking that up?
I always struggled with devotions. Like, one of the things I hate doing is reading. Never cared to read. I still don't always care to read, but no, this past summer, like, again, they wanted us to do our morning devotions because they wanted us to really be able to get our mindset, our focus on God. So one way they helped us do that was always like in the morning they encouraged us to do like morning devotions, because it's like by reading God's word, not only are you getting filled up to like teach God's word to others and share with others, but you're able to then, it kind of helps, grow closer. And I actually feel like sometimes when I don't do a morning devotion, I feel like my day goes a lot like weirder. Like, it's not as like fulfilling, I guess you could say. So like even just taking and reading out of my devotional book in the mornings, it helps me just keep my focus of like why I'm here, who I'm serving, and just, yeah.
Help straighten you out for the day.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going to say.
I'm sorry, I'm not good with words.
No, you're fine. So did you go to public school?
Yeah.
Or private?
Public.
Public.
Yeah.
Ever since first grade?
Yeah.
Kindergarten?
No, kindergarten.
Kindergarten?
Yep.
And have you're from Chambersburg, right?
Yeah.
Have you always lived out there?
Yes. So, I've lived in Chambersburg as far as I can remember. I've always been in Franklin County, really, in general. I have family who lives in Mercersburg, family that lives in Greencastle, and then I think other family that lives kind of around the same area as us of Franklin County. And yeah, we've lived there pretty much all my life. There was a time, I want to say, that my dad considered working for a farm all the way in Lancaster. But I think because me and my sisters were already in school, they didn't want to move because we already made those connections. We already kind of bonded with people, so they didn't want to have us like move. But I don't think like we've really ever considered moving away.
Didn't you say you said either Crumpy's yesterday or Thursday? I think it was Thursday you mentioned Crumpy's.
Oh yeah.
How in the hell did you know about Crumpy's? Because when I found out about it, that's about half hour from where I live. How did you find out about it?
Parents.
Parents.
Oh no, like me and my sisters knew about Crumpy's all the way back in like elementary school, my dude. Like,
oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, my parents grew up in Franklin County. And my dad, I think, kind of grew up, I think Smithsburg, Maryland. So
okay.
like, those two have been around. So it would not surprise me that they found Crumpy's. And like, let me tell you something. I have a summer birthday, and sometimes when I would work summers at camp, Joyelle, it was so nice because if my birthday fell in the week, my mom would sometimes just bring up a bunch of Crumpy's donuts.
Oh, really?
For me and some of the other staff members. So it was just nice to like get Crumpy's donuts on my birthday in the summer. It was great.
Hey man, those donuts are cheap.
Yeah, but
compared to anywhere else.
But the thing is, they're so good. Like, let me
know.
tell you, the one guy that stayed at our house, he talked about how he wanted Crumpy's donuts because apparently he had them a year before when he worked at camp, and he literally looked at another guy when we were there at Crumpy's getting donuts. He's like, "You have not tasted like dessert until you've had a Crumpy's donut. Like, it will change you, man."
I can agree with that. When my friend introduced it to me, I think it was senior year of high school.
Mm.
He took me there, and he's like, "There's all these options," but he's pointing on the menu like this, this, and this. And I see a girl in the back just sprinkling shredded coconut on donuts. And I say, "I want those. I want 12 of them." I think I ate 6 of them on the ride back. Changed my life.
Oh.
Forever.
Oh no! You want to know the best part? New Year's Eve, they do this like earlier in the evening, but they have like donut drop in this like one part of Hagerstown, and they actually they take and give out free donuts before the donut drop. So like if you at New Year's Eve, if you want to like hit me up, we'll meet up somewhere, and me and you will go to the donut drop, man. Get some free
donut drop.
Get some free donuts,
Holy
man.
Holy shit!
Especially if it's Crumpy's, like, come on, bro.
Free donuts.
Yeah, they're just glazed, but I mean, can you live with that?
I mean, yeah. I didn't expect them to toss a bag of shredded coconut out too, but I can make it work.
I mean, free donuts is free donuts. So.
I don't know what it is. Something about shredded coconut I like. I don't like coconut milk. I think it's kind of disgusting. But shredded coconut, I don't know what it is. I seem to like that.
Mm.
And just the smell of coconut. I don't know.
Interesting.
What's your favorite donut from there?
Oh. Well.
Name one if you can.
I don't know the name of it exactly, but it's like got white icing filling inside and has like chocolate icing on top. That is bae to me.
So it's a filled
donut?
Yeah. Are you a big donut person or just when you go to Grumpy's? Because I try not to be a big donut person. But as you can see, it hasn't been working out as planned.
So, I'm going to be real. I actually enjoy donuts, but like some donuts, oh, it ruins it for me at times. Like, I'm sorry. Dunkin', like, it's not the greatest, but I'll eat it.
It's a donut.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, another thing that I favor that's a pastry is, like, what's called whoopie pies from where I come from.
I know.
Oh, those things, man.
You got the good peaches, too.
Yeah, Chambersburg's known for peaches in case anybody...
good-ass peaches.
Oh, my word.
My brother, he goes up there quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
To get those.
Mm.
And he'll buy some bulk amount numbers peaches.
Mm-hmm.
I think he won't let me have one. Bitch.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You want to know one of my favorite desserts my grandmother ever made? She took raspberry and peaches, made it into a pie, and then the best part is, you put some whipped cream on that. It is wonderful.
Oh, my.
Peaches and raspberry pie.
Oh, my. That's... Damn. It's the food show now. I did my podcast earlier with Dan. We talked about Arby's at one point. And it got to the point we were both hungry and it was dinner time, so we went to Arby's. And we came back and this is where we saw you. Man, I'm doing double duty on podcasts today.
Yeah.
I need to retire. It's time to just retire.
Retire? You tired?
I mean, tired of what?
Being on the podcast.
No, it's just talking.
I feel like I've done more talking, though.
Oh, yeah, that's the point of having a guest. I want you to talk more.
Oh, gotcha.
For me, it's 80% listening, 20% talking. Shout out to whoever told me that, because I forget who it is. But man, does it work. Yeah.
Alright, you gonna stop making out with your microphone now, or...?
Yes.
You just get all close and personal with it.
I mean, sometimes. I hate to cut it short, but you got to go to movie night. It's almost time for you to peace out. Anything you last thoughts, plugs, talking about how great I am for the last minute. Anything you want to say?
In all honesty, like I said in your one YouTube video before, like I'm excited to see what you can do with film to make a positive impact. I'm hoping that I can do the same with my design. So, like, that's the end goal for me, is to be in healthcare and hospitality design because I want to make a positive impact on people. And I want to use my designs to kind of help with that. So, yeah. And then if anybody wants to, I want to say my Instagram's MAR_COR for anybody that might want to follow on Instagram. Otherwise, I'm good.
Again, that's Mar_core. Marcor. Marcor.
Marcor. Instead of parkour, it's Marcor. Get over it.
All right, Crumpies. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll make sure to get you on again. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I like doing that.
All
It's
right.
out my anger. All right, bud. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Hopefully I come back soon. We out.